father played football at Kansas State, so I was pretty much going to be a football player. Took to it like moth to a flame, and started Pop Warner football at the age of 8. Most of my Pop Warner football coaches were police officers, Art Heinzler, Tom Chaney. They were heavy influences in my life. And then my first high school football coach was Rick Foltz. And then that led into meeting two men that heavily influenced my life, and that is Mike Clark and Hal Pygish. Mike Clark was the head football coach at Dobson. Hal Pygish was the defensive coordinator and a Bulldog. And it just so turned out he was also the head track coach. So running track, playing football, those two men heavily influenced my life. Good memories are, I joke, anybody in my peer group that happens to see this will understand when I say this. I had my Al Bundy football game, which is 5 touchdowns in a single game. However, my 5th touchdown was called back because one of my very good friends was called for holding. Mike Clark, I think, playing a joke on me or whatever, on the very next play, decided to call a play to hand the ball to my best friend or one of my good friends, who then scored a touchdown, negating my Al Bundy football game against Chandler High School. So that's one of my funny high school football memories. Track career was a little different than football. Track and field was very serious at Dobson High School in the 90s. Very, very high expectations. It was almost like a business-like environment, which was good for me because it was a lot of structure. That in the men and the coaches that I had, like I said, Hal Pygish was the head coach. That is what pushed me to become, a state champion. The competition was extremely high in the East Valley in the 90s. I want to say everybody that I ran against probably made it to some type of Division I school, if not in track and field, definitely in some other sport. I selected UCLA because at the time they were number 1 in football and track and field in the Pac-10. It was a natural fit. It was in a nice area. There was no way my mom was going to let me go to USC. So my mom really influenced my decision to go to UCLA, because right across the street from UCLA is FBI headquarters in Los Angeles, where I work now, which is just kind of ironic. But they even used that sales pitch and try to recruit me to UCLA. So after I graduate from UCLA, I come back home. I'm a police officer in Scottsdale, Arizona for 5.5 years. In that time, I obtained my master's degree from Northern Arizona, and I applied for the FBI, and I get hired from the FBI in 2005. I'm married and met my wife at UCLA. She played soccer for the Bruins. I have 2 wonderful kids, a 9-year-old daughter named Chloe and a 6-year-old son named Tyson. My experiences in Mesa, Arizona really formed the man that I've become today. I was just telling some friends before I came here, I had 8 groomsmen in my wedding. 6 of those 8 men I met pretty much through Mesa Public Schools. And I consider them my best friends today, and they've been friends of mine for over 20 years. So the experiences that I've had just in the city of Mesa Public Schools, in athletics, the relationships that I've formed, the life lessons that I've learned, especially in the game of football, really kind of helped mold me into the man that I've become today. My name is Akil Davis, class of '94, Dobson High School. Go Mustangs, beat Mountain View.